What in the God's name is going on with ARMA 4? What's the rumours? What's the news? What should we believe? What shouldn't we? I don't know, guys. I really don't know. It's all a bit of a mystery. Some new stuff's been released. People are talking about the Infusion engine, the development of DayZ, and why it influences ARMA. I've been doing a little bit of reading myself. I had some footage from our Sunday operation, some sling roping. I thought I'd put it in the background here so you can enjoy watching the beautiful RG conducting some of their exercises while you get the news on ARMA 4. So let me jump into it, guys. What's new? Well, let's have a look. There's been a few posts on the Bohemia forums, but something I found really interesting is coming from a guy. It was posted around April the 27th, the end of April this year. It's from future game releases, and obviously these guys, they have to generate some news. But it's talking about the confirmation of ARMA running on the Infusion engine, or ARMA 4 running on the Infusion engine, which we all knew. The gentleman here, the author, is Angel, who's done the editorial, and he talks quite in depth into certain posts that have been made on Reddit. It's all compiled journalism, but it's good. It's interesting stuff. I mean, it's putting everything in one place. But then he put a post up recently, which was quite strange, which is titled, "Should we trust Bohemia Interactive saying ARMA 4 is not in the works?" Now, I'll go back to what I said previously in a contact video about a month and a half ago. There's a dedicated ARMA 4 page on the Bohemia wiki, and it states, as of August 2020, Bohemia Interactive is currently working on Infusion Engine as a technology that will power their future games. So they're letting us know that basically they're making all their future games on this new engine, which has been developed on the back end of predominantly DayZ. But I think it's moving away a bit from the Milsim fundamentals that came with ARMA 1, 2 and 3. So with optimization obviously comes problems, and are those problems going to be limiting the ability of ARMA 4 by having a cushy engine? So this is all interesting stuff. We'll just have to wait and see. I know that Argo and other games which have been developed using Infusion are kind of not like ARMA, and even the new modern DayZ, quite frankly, doesn't feel like ARMA 2. ARMA 3 feels like a mix of the both in the middle, and I wouldn't want ARMA 4 to go any more in direction. That's my personal taste. I don't know how you guys feel. Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about that. But anyway, when is the ARMA 4 series released? Is ARMA 4 being worked on? As per this wiki, as stated above, ARMA 3 is the latest title of the franchise, and we have been no other plans to announce or develop a release date for ARMA 4. So this page is pretty solid, and watertight in terms of ARMA 4. But let's go back to this post. So should we trust them? So essentially, I'll try and read this verbatim. I did notice that in reading it to myself just a moment ago, there are a few mistakes there, so I apologize if by reading this I slip up. I'll just fill in where I can, guys. But let me just read this for you. So at this point, the ARMA franchise is becoming just a glimpse of the franchise, as Bohemia Interactive is still shrouding any potential work on another ARMA series. During these dark times of virus outbreaks and massive lockdowns, we all could use a praise of the phenomenon to get ahead of the development curve, which sadly enough, according to Bohemia Interactive, is not happening. Sorry guys, as I said, I think it's translated from Czech to English, so I'm just doing my best here. In June, Bohemia Interactive has announced that ARMA 4 isn't being worked on, including to the existence of ARMA 3 and the latest series of the franchise. But saying that ARMA 4 isn't in development makes us worry, which it does. I mean, that's a good point. Big communities out there, you know who you are. Smaller communities out there, you know who you guys are. We all look to the future of the franchise to continue what we're doing. RG's been around now for about 15 years. I know there's groups that have been out there longer than that. So we want to know where the future is with regards to this franchise, and whether or not we're steamrolling our communities towards a brick wall of development because the developer of the game that we're essentially a part of aren't releasing any news. So it is a good point. It's a very good point. But saying that ARMA 4 is in development makes us all worry. As we consider ourselves to be hardcore supporters of any sandbox environment, especially a military sim such as ARMA. On the official community wiki, and then he goes on to state exactly what I've been following and posting as updates, which is just to see if they drop us any news there. What else it states is that Bohemia Interactive is currently working on the Infusion engine, which should be a long-standing option to power future games, amongst which, again, ARMA 4 should be considered as vital as one of Bohemia Interactive's most successful creations. I mean, from how I understand it, the whole premise of Bohemia Interactive was ARMA. When they made their money, Codemasters, Operation Flashpoint, the original history, and now standing on their own 2 feet after developing ARMA 2 and ARMA 3. But they've gone off and made all these strange, quirky, niche-based products. Take on Mars, take on helicopters, lots of reusable assets. What's criminal with regards to it in terms of development is that so much of the content that was developed for Take on Mars with regards to the building aspects, so much of the content that was used in Take on Helicopters, the mechanics of flight, including the models, we never got to see any of this content in ARMA. And it was needing some of this code just to flesh it out, make it a bit better for us. And that content has been made by third-party communities, obviously within ACE, CBA, and other mods like ACRE, which have essentially changed the game of ARMA 3 into what it should be. My personal pet peeve is that if Bohemia as a company focused purely on milsim and created what the external community modders have created for ARMA 3, those modders could concentrate on things like other mods to make the game even better. But instead, we're always digging up the fundamentals and trying to get it where we want it to be. That creates the instability, and I think that overall creates the impression that ARMA is not a very stable game and you need a massively high performance computer to run it. The base sandbox within ARMA 3 when it was first released was very well optimized, I believed. It's more optimized then than it is now. So I'm not sure what direction BI is going in, but they are in charge, they're the bosses, they're creating the content, and we're just really all along for the ride. So let's just see what happens, guys. Even if we may believe that Bohemia Interactive's words, they don't seem to hold water. What could be said in a better way is that Bohemia Interactive is working on the Infusion engine to, and I can't read that word, sorry, all the necessary things for potential ARMA 4 before it becomes a liability. ARMA 3 is currently in patch 1.98. This is where it kind of gets interesting and a bit theory-based, which I thought was worth sharing with you guys. So now stalling any additional up-and-coming core updates by supporting and publishing community DLCs. As many others believe, ARMA 4 should be released before ARMA 3 gets to 2.0. Now I'm not sure where this is coming from, but here we go. This is due to the nature of the development course. Just as ARMA 3 1.0 back in the days, 2.0 should be a major update which we don't see happening. It would be rather complicating, I think that means, to see ARMA 4 then seeing ARMA 2. Okay, so what essentially is being said here is basing on the previous games and the way that they've updated them, if we're following the same pattern, this is going to be the framework for basing on how ARMA 4 has been created. So behind closed doors, Bohemia have had enough time to develop this game. If they didn't waste time on certain projects that aren't making anywhere near what ARMA 3 generated, or the DayZ mod on the back of ARMA 2, or ARMA 3 or DayZ standalone, which was based on ARMA 2 as well. But what they've done is they've tried to run down those roads because of all the money that was injected into the company with DayZ. And I just, as I've said, I don't have any interest in what B.I are doing outside of the ARMA series, but it'd be great if they had like a lab somewhere, secret lab, where they were developing ARMA 4, and then they just dropped it based on what this guy's saying. But we can always wish, guys. I think it's wishful thinking. Just to continue, it says, if there's any secrecy behind this project, we would be somewhat disappointed. Like every other player has become a soldier thanks to ARMA 3. We firmly believe that ARMA 4 is closer than anyone can think of. I can still imagine the King of the Hill tournaments, a lot better FPS than we can ever do in ARMA 3. That would represent the perfect meal sim, even for future generations. So yeah, I mean, this is it. What we want as a community: 120 players, 200 players, mass PvP / co-op environments, servers able to cope with hundreds of AI rendered over thousands and thousands of kilometers. But there is no game on the market that's pulling this off at the moment, and ARMA 3 is kind of doing it, but it requires a lot to get it where it needs to be, still by the community. And I'm not sure what's happening with ARMA 4, or even if it was released, whether we'd be able to jump straight into it. With the changes to Infusion, I think the biggest concern BI are facing is leaving behind 90 to 99% of the non-compatible content that has been developed and made over the course of God knows how many years. ARMA 2, ARMA 3 both being sideways compatible. The content is staggering, and being able to recreate that for a new title and leave the old title behind, it's going to be very difficult. Alright, that's everything, guys. My views on ARMA 4, I will keep you posted. Before I do go, there was a job offering posted, which was on Steam. Now this is only a few days ago, and it's since been edited, but the original game programmer position that was posted for the Infusion engine on an unannounced project stated for large-scale military simulation, and it's been edited. So that's a little bit of gossip. I'm not sure if that's true or false. I can give you the links to the images. I'll post them below in the descriptions. You can have a look. But if they are now building ARMA 4, we won't see it until, my prediction, 2021, mid-2022, if it's just being developed now, if it's being developed at all. That's everything, guys. If you do have any news on ARMA 4 or any other information you wish to share, let me know. And until then, take it easy and hope to see you guys on the battlefield. Andrew's out.